that party.
Yo, good day. Happy Monday. Happy snow day. Dear God. Do I have to hold on? Hold. I gotta check something first. Something just changed right now. Of course, as soon as I'm live, which is awesome to test. We're doing it live. Oh man. Now, the problem is, I need to see if I can actually connect. Hold on. Probably be like, fail. Well, maybe not, because my UUID should be the same. I wonder. This is going to be interesting. No, I got him fine. Cool. Oh, man. All right, so there we go. Sorry about that. Excuse me. Yeah, good day, everybody. Here we are. Sorry, a little late. We got a freaking blizzard. On the East Coast is great, you know. As if we didn't have enough snow, and it was like practically like going away, and then all of a sudden, just a blanket of snow. But now we're here. And what's up, Alden? Excuses? Exactly. But I did do a bunch of stuff though in the midst of in between that. And my name change came through, so now I got my proper name in Hytale. So yay, and that happened just now. Literally just now. So now my name is proper. Drop the XXI. Now just plain old Wolv21. So, yay. Okay. Some testing to do. Because, dear God, features got a feature correct. Otherwise, yeah. Okay. So, we now have so database now is a drop down so that we don't just flat out show information. So that's good. So you just click that button, it shows the database information and, you know, username, IP, connection, all that stuff. So you gotta click that. So now we have pending restores, which is loads up a page. So any sessions that are active it will automatically make a database entry of the player name, UID, what world they're in, their position, the inventory, their status, and when it was created at. So far that works. Now it's just the methodology of canceling out of sessions or doing all the weird edge cases to make sure that this actually works in the implementation. The one thing we can try for sure is I can create a session with just mobs with myself. The owner has the same grace period timeout as other players. So I can create a session, jump into it, quit the server, and then the 60-second timer should trigger. After the 60 seconds, it should close the session. And then when I relog back in, it should kick me back to my saved location. That's the first test we're going to do. Okay. That's what we're going to try. Play. Create. Backrooms. Do mob. We'll do simple test. Keep them like that. Kit. Let's use assassin. Kills. 10. Create. Good. Ready. Arena's ready. We click start. We get teleported. So that still works. Okay, there should be one mob. He's probably like all the way over there. Somewhere there. But we can go manage. Here. There you go. Pending restores. One row. We view it. There's my name, the shortened UUID, what world I was in, the position, the inventory was saved. I'm in a current session, and then when it was created at. Beautiful. Technically, if I go escape, quit the main, and go check the log, see if that triggers. It just says removing player from the world, from the session. Yep, disconnect. Owner disconnected from active session. Session, grace, 60 seconds. Yep. Okay, so now I'm going to wait a minute. I could shorten the time, but we're just going to make sure that it works. It should. Yeah, there it is. Disconnected. Disconnect. Ultimate grace period expired. Permanently removed from active session. Okay. And now we try to reconnect and see what happens. Yeah, this it's not right at all. Feature. Okay, yeah, that was definitely. This is definitely wrong. Because, yeah, this should be done. Yeah, it's gonna. It's gonna crash out. Okay, so I guess that 100% didn't work. Hello? Oh. Okay. It dropped the session. Failed to restore spawn maker member? What the hell? Okay, yeah. Hold on. I gotta just message. Hang on for this. Test it. Test it as. Myself. Game mode. Server, I saw the trace. Click on seconds. Waited until the console said. Removed. Trying to the server. It got placed back into the same session. That one, the move to, I should have been. Send. Cool. All right. So yes, we did the grace period. It kicked the session after the 60 seconds. So then theoretically, when I relog back in, it should have brought me back to the overworld, or my last saved location from according to the database, and that didn't happen. So yeah, I need to figure out, or I just explained it to the AI, so hopefully it can figure it out. Some of its logic is probably still kind of messed up, but it did save all the information, so that's good. It's just, yeah, it's just the whole flow of like being in the middle of a session and then the disconnects in between. I think once that logic is clear, or then it works, then applying it to like all players should be relatively easy if we run into other problems. But goddamn, it's a lot of like back and forth. I'm trying to figure this. A lot of scenarios that I'm trying to account for. With like who connects when, who disconnects when. Is like, yeah. Trying to create a list, check it twice. See what features are naughty. And fix them. Unless its logic was just incorrect to begin with. It is entirely possible. But it eventually timed out. I need to EP. Remember this. Oh, there we go. Oh. That's hella convenient. Did they add the teleport option within the menu, or is that a mod? I think they have different markers, right? For like, yeah, different icons, and you can name it differently. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wonder if the teleport option is last update. Oh, that's awesome. That's smart. So I'm assuming only if you're an admin or you're op, you can teleport. That's what I'm guessing that, because that would be like way OP. Yeah, that's really convenient. Yeah, that's awesome. That is a nice quality of life change. Oh, found the bug. Hopefully. Well, might as well. Cool. Yeah, that makes life way easy. Get around. Just make a bunch. All right, let's read through this. Times expires. Remove from session. Removes the player from distant players and calls. Check orphan sessions and session offline players. Restore. Loop iterate session. Get player disconnected players, which is now empty because removed from session already cleared it. So stop. Store pending restore is never called. The player has no pending restore. When they reconnect, Hytale drops them back to the still existing world with No redirect. Root cause. Disconnection manager removed from session. Remove the player from disconnected players before check orphan sessions. That's, yeah. Write it. Let's do it. Must test and must work. Please. I want to get through these like last bugs and features. Are those annoying? That was quick. Verify. Just need to ask it. I just want to verify that. Yeah, if I disconnect from an active session, wait till the grace timer kicks off, expires, I reconnect, be placed back in the overworld, or my last location, and my inventory restored. Yes, the location. Cool. All right, done. I mean, files. Try it again. Because then once this is fixed, then other players and then the logic should be able to fix everything else too. Theoretically. Restart. Okay. Wait. Should be pretty quick. It is done. Reconnect. Okay, back in. I'm going to go over here. Just want to be away from... Okay, nothing pending. All right. Play. Great. Nope. Backroom. Mob. Simple. Hit. Fighter. Fire mage. Kill. 10. Great. Good. There. Go. Okay. Menu. Make sure. Yep. Disconnect. I'm going to disconnect from active session. Grace period 60 seconds. All right, let me just wait a little bit. All this logic. There it is. Disconnected. Pending restore. Stored for offline player as the UUID. Nice. And then skill check disconnected. The my name. Yeah, grace period expired. Permanently removed from active session. Okay. 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 Neat. I wanna put that there. All right. And then we go here, and then we go here, and see what happens. That okay. Oh, yeah, that is an error. What? Oh, is it? Send. It seems like if I get disconnected, if I drop from that instance, it still tries to put me back in that instance, even though it was removed, to teleport me back to the location after I try to like relog back into the server. But that's when it throws the exception. So hopefully it can change the logic behind that and not put me into the old session. I'm assuming it can, but I said it's a weird complication to what we're trying to do. Let me see if even this will even work. Yeah, it puts me back over here. That's going to error out, and then this will close, and then it'll kick me out of the server again, and it puts me back in the overworld. So yeah, it doesn't... It like remakes the session again. Yep, there it goes. Oh yeah, it teleports me back here. That's cool. Nice little sound too. Okay, it's searching, researching. Excuse me. All right. While that thinks about what the problem is, I'm gonna get some more coffee and try to figure this out. Okay. Fresh coffee. Still thinking. Cool. Yeah, just the reconnection logic for all the random scenarios that we can come across. And then the fatal damage, we need to make sure that actually maths correctly. Again, it'll be so much nicer once they actually like implement an API that you can just directly tap into if a player was to die instead of it putting them to the respawn screen. You can just route them somewhere else would be so much better. Probably exists, but doesn't make sense of why you wouldn't be able to just bypass that. That would be cool. Wonder if you could do like, I don't know if mobs will like actually walk on this. Probably not. But it would be really cool. You'd have it so like when you walk over it is when you get launched up. I need to mess with the asset editor to see how that stuff works. That stuff I don't know. I mean, I know how to create a pack in there. I know how to duplicate something, but the rest of it's just there's so many fields for everything. Very overwhelming. There's a lot of stuff. Player reconnects. Hytale routes them to their last world, session world. Yeah. Then Hytale adds async. No. Come on. No. It. Why? Why is the player? If there. Okay, ask more questions because, yeah. Should be able to get. Yeah, because the game will automatically remember where you last were to log you back in. Good catch. Let me trace the actual destruction timing. Like, you got to think of like every possible, like, entire step way all the way through to explain it to the AI so that it actually like knows how to program it correctly. It's always like missing one step in between. It's like, no, it's like if the session ends or the grace period ends and the session's closed, that means the instance or the session no longer exists. When I relog back in, it tries to put me back into that same session that doesn't exist. So, can we, when it happens, it says it on the back end, just to route me to another different location. Countdown, post-session, countdown seconds, plus 5 seconds. Keeps it alive. Well, there are no... Fix ref. Active refs is empty. There's nobody to show the countdown to. Nobody to teleport out. Skip it. Destroy the world immediately. Okay. That doesn't... That's fine. But it still doesn't answer my question, though. Build a jar. I'm gonna ask it again. Force spawn location when the previous instance no longer exists. We don't need to force anything. The correct flow is instance world destroyed within 2 seconds of the orphan session end. Player reconnects Hytale. Last world is gone. Routes to lobby / default world. On entity fires lobby. Pending restore. Okay. Try it again. Files. I feel like its logic is still messed up. Restart. I feel like Hytale is still gonna try to put me into the old session, even if it doesn't exist, or it's gonna make it like re-exist again. I'm also gonna change the. I'm gonna try changing the timer too. I have not tried that yet. Reconnect. Okay. Let me write that down. When I change Grace. I don't even know if that's even gonna save. It did, but it just okay. I'll have it fix that. That's annoying. 100 Grace. I guess say 10 seconds. Okay, so that should work. Play, create, backroom, mob, simple, fire mage, kill, 10, great, ready, go. Cool. Make sure it's there. Go here. Active session. Awesome. Now we go. Menu. Session. It still said Grace. It still says 60 seconds. So it must be something else from. I wonder what setting that is then. Unless it just didn't save, which is entirely possible. But it still says, okay, we'll just wait a minute. That's fine. See, weird quirks. Pending restore. Grace period ended. Permanently removed. Okay, we'll just wait a little bit longer. Don't try to reconnect in the middle of it, like destroying the world. It's also we should get a log that says that the session should have been removed, and that's not showing up. plan mode. Also, when I console after the or owner. The log at the send. All right. Sending it again. I'm gonna put it in plan mode this time so I can like actually like research through it. I'm gonna do a little bit more investigative work. That's it. Something error with the logic of it's trying to put me back into the session world which I disconnected from, and it doesn't exist, or it shouldn't exist. But also there's no console log message that the session ended when it should have. At least say that. Store pending restore was never called, meaning the session never ended. Same. Crash before. Session isn't ending. Let me find out why. What's up, Chris? Yeah, exactly, Alden. It has to be that. It's just that it's not ending. It's not ending the session, which it should be. So that's why I was like, that's why like, dude, logging is amazing. As long as you can log everything to figure out like where stuff fails, it's been like the saving grace of anything that we've been trying to do. And that's it. It's like it's literally not ending the session. And then I'm assuming it can intersect. You should be able to change anybody's location at any time. It's just, yeah, whatever the Java is to do it. It's just that when the grace period's over, should end the session, and it's not. It removes the player from the session because, yeah, I disconnected. That makes sense, but it's not actually ending the session. Like, little flows like that. It's like, it's probably a bug, or they forgot. It just didn't do it. When it's like, that was the whole purpose of this. The thing that we're trying to do. Like, what? Like, when I relog back in, the session shouldn't exist because the grace period was over, so that then it should teleport me back to my original spot. Found it. Let me write a plan. Do it. Write the plan, please. Yay, I have my name. Only took a hot second. I'm sure they're busy. All right, let me read this BS now. When the owner's grace period expires, remove from session runs checked orphan session, which is supposed to end the session, but it silently bails out because the owner's disconnect timer entry is still in disconnect timers. Remove from session removes the player from disconnected players, but it never calls cancel connection timer. The orphan check sees a non-empty disconnect timers and returns without ending the session. This was introduced by commit. The owner gets grace period on disconnect like other players. Yeah. Before that, owner had no timer. Why did? Okay. Yeah, because I introduced it because the owner should have a grace period also. Disconnect manager removed from session. Timer stays in the map after firing. Okay. Cool. All right, do it. Code it. See, it's also cool why having the GitHub commits also, because then it could look through the past ones and see which one, what was the cause of it, which is really cool. Good stuff. Well, I need to figure out also how to do with different branches, because we need like maintenance on the main plugin, and then we need a pre-release version. That I want to make sure I get like clear, because I have no idea how to do that, and I do not want to mess up code with two different parallel coding. Yes, build the jar, please. Cool. Files. Okay, restarting. I'm gonna try it one more time. Oh, I should have told it about the setting, saving the grace period, the text, the numbers change, and the locking up. Please, just let us get to this hurdle. Oh my lord. Okay. Check. Create. Backroom. Mob. Simple test. Hit. Stranger. Kill count. Time. Great. Ready. Go. Cool. Check. There it is. Menu. Okay. 60 seconds. Okay, now there should be more logging information about when it's orphaned. Hopefully. Please. Please work correctly. I want to move on to something else. Cool. Removing individual worlds, stopping background threads, removing players, waiting for loading chunks, shutting down stores, shutting down chunk generator, saving chunks, queuing chunks, saving all chunks, waiting for saving chunks, done saving chunks. What? Check saving config. Go check removed world. Okay. Cool. Okay. So it puts me in this. Okay. Hold on. What? Roll. Okay. Mm-hmm. Oh, it's like trying to do it before I even get into the world. It has to wait. Okay. Yeah, this guy. Here. Okay. Okay. Here. Some more. This time, but it looks like it tries to. And if that's the case, then if that's the case, then I need to make sure we add an invulnerability when a person reconnects, so they're not in like they don't instantly die, or they're not op. to get teleported, they need to be invulnerable until they get teleported. That 100% needs to happen. Because it seems like they're going to... Well... Yeah, because if it's just a order change, it should be able to alter my location though. I'm re-logging back in. That's what I need to make sure that if we can do that. Like it needs to alter my player file or whatever, so I don't end up here. Like I don't want to bounce from here to the location, which could work. I'd rather not. I'd rather not bounce the player. I'd rather just put them in their save location. That's what I want. Technical issues. Excuse me. You're just thinking. We're just under the world. Yeah, I think its timing is just off. We are ahead of our plugin is ahead of the game. We need to be a little bit slower. The music. It is thinking. Still thinking. Let it do its thing. Also just verifying. It does. Yeah, no active session. Okay, cool. Just we gotta make sure. The log said it removed it. Not that I don't trust it. It's just I don't know. Me, me, me. The log order actually is actually fine teleporting on login fires. We schedule the deferral not when the teleport executes. Defer teleport fires 500 milliseconds after the join world. Teleport entry, so before I'm in the world isn't quite what's happening. That literally doesn't make sense. Any disconnect warning? Freaking annoying. That works. It looks like, yeah. Fill the jar. All right. Looks like it's. There's assert not in thread called from P. Requires the world thread. The fix wraps the actual teleport in the target world execute, which queues it into the world thread. So satisfying the thread assertion and making timing window irrelevant. The work is queued, not raced. Yep. Okay, that makes sense. All right, cool. All right, cook the jar. And over. Starts. Okay. Okay. Up. Cool. that's annoying. Oh, that's cool. High enough for you to actually climb up. Okay. That, create, here we go again. Backroom, mob, simple, kit, cross mage, kill, and create, ready, go. Follow me, rejoin. There it is. There's our position. 169, nice. All right, we got that. We go main menu. Back over here. Grace period is kicked off. Now we wait. Yep. Okay. Removed. Hey! Yes. Awesome. Okay, cool. So that worked. So I got a questions. Okay, let's do. GitHub first. We must push that because that is awesome. Yeah, I just want to ask it a question. Okay, question. When after a Do I on my station or am I? Where I seems to be the location be at when I log back into server up at that location, but all right. Asset. So yeah, I just want to see if it actually just spawns me, because this was like as soon as I logged in, it was instantaneous. So I don't know if it's like from the transitions of getting in here, did I end up in the other location first and then bounce to here, or did I end up directly here? If it's directly here, then we don't have to do any like invulnerability frames while we're getting here. If I end up in the other location first and then get teleported here, then we need to either intercept it so that they end up here right off the rip, or we just make them invulnerable when a person logs in. I'd rather not add another extra step in there, because that's just one extra thing that can possibly go wrong. But worst case, we'll just give them invulnerability for the time being until they get teleported to their spot. So you do briefly appear at the wrong spot half a second, then move to the right one. Whether reads that instant or noticeable teleport depends on how far your positions are. Yeah, let's say, yeah. They are in. Well, there is, if there is no way to directly Yeah, just ask it. Because as soon as you log in, it gives you the XYZ of the same XYZ of the previous session instance, which then it just plops you into the default worlds in the same spot, different worlds. That one we want to intercept if we can. Instead of they log in, it says, "Hey, I'm going to be at -28, 65, -10." No, put me at my save location, which was 3 something, 169, blah blah blah. Because then if we could do that, then we don't have to do any other finagling of like making someone invulnerable for an X amount of time for them to get teleported correctly. I feel like a player's gonna log in. That's gonna happen to somebody, and they're gonna relog back in, and then they're gonna instantly die as soon as they get back onto their world. And that's what I don't want to happen. That's why we're spending so much time with this, because this is important. It's being a little dumb. Not dumb, but just the logic of what happens when and where and why. Well, at least we got back. We're back to this spot. So that's good. That's a step in a good direction. Hear from the logs on entity file storing the. What? Excuse me. Okay. Directive, we gotta push this tomorrow. Boo. It doesn't make sense. we Not with the current Hytale API. On entity is the on entity added is the earliest hook we have. By the time it fires, the entity is already placed in the world at whatever position Hytale chose. There is no pre-spawn callback that would let us set the initial position before the entity add completes. That's bullshit. This is where I need to ask JP and be like, hey, could probably do this right, because that makes literally no sense. Well, as long as we can get the in between, that's fine. All right, let's see if this works, because the timing was moved around, so this might not work correctly, but we'll see. Yeah, so worst case, reconnecting after a disconnect from that, we'll just give the player an invulnerability, like, timeout of like 5 seconds or something like that, so that in case they have a potato computer or slow internet, then it won't die when coming back in. Okay. And okay. Play, create, backroom, mob, simple, fire mage, kill, and go, ready. Awesome. Cool. Main menu. Click over here. Grace period's kicked off. It's just cool to see everything working. There it is. Cool. No, that was, yeah, that was correct off the rip. Huh. Really? Yeah, it was. Nice. Okay. Cool. Yeah, that's correct now. It shows, yeah. Default world, default player, my name, default location. The correct coordinates now. It doesn't show the previous one. Nice. Okay, that's awesome. Okay. Cool. All right. Well, since that's working, okay, now to not friggin' break everything. Go to plan mode. Okay. Okay. Now since that is working. Let me ask a question. Now, since that works, now we can go through the other steps of making sure that the rest of the process is correct. And then the fatal damage, we need to check that also. Because I think we're using a bunch of different weapons too, so we need to make sure that the logic is correct when it tries to calculate the damage, so that I wish there was another way to intercept that besides creating our own system. It's really annoying. Or a way to catch before the death screen, and just reroute us for it to do something else. Other than that, just replace it. It would be so much easier. That works for this owner, the lobby owner. But I want to make sure this works for all players. Since everything's connected up, it should work. All three teleport paths are correct and consistent. Let me write the assessment on the plan file and exit. Okay. Plans. What was the name? Oh. Holy. Well, players, no changes needed. The reconnect, restore, teleport paths already. Command buffer corrects. The fix is universal. Awesome. Okay, what are we doing? It's all working now. Why are we changing code? Wait, what? No, stop. Why are code? I just escaped out of it. I don't know why it's trying to code stuff when it says it's correct. It's supposed to work for all players right now, so I don't understand what it's trying to do. Then describes okay, so cool. Okay, so technically it should all for all scenarios it should work now. Technically. I kind of wanted just to go through a list and verify that it is. You send. All right. Then have it search the code based on our system to create a nicely formatted list of possible scenarios for this session. Disconnects. Just the owner and with multiple players. Just that we try to cover all of our bases. Because there's not much. It's like if owner cancels out of lobby at the beginning, it just ends the lobby instantly. If the owner is alone and does a session and closes out, they got 60 seconds to reconnect. At the end of the 60 seconds, it closes the session. If the owner creates a lobby and there's another player with it, if the player disconnects, it should give them 60 seconds of the grace period to reconnect. If they don't, they get dropped, but then it's also going to depend on what game mode is currently active. So that's going to have to get flagged. Or that logic's probably going to have to get updated for that. If it's just a 1v1 and a player drops completely and the grace period ends, then the session needs to end. If it's like 2v2 and one player drops, they can get disconnected, but then the fighting could technically still continue because there's still another player on the other team. I think that's the only other caveat. If all players from the other team I'm trying to make a list, but it's making. I did a plan. I don't know what I was trying to do. I just wrote a file. No, move stop. This shouldn't be doing that. I wrote everything out. I don't know why what it's doing. Plan to implement. No, I wanted just a list of stuff. What? Or normally, so, disconnects. What happens from move player from player's timer starts? Active players notified owner disconnected. Finds player still present. Session continues without the owner. Owner gets offline restore on next login. Yep. Cool. Okay, yeah. That seems correct. Okay, so all that logic should be that's now working. I need it to fix this though. Plan. There is a bug. Fixed. Sent. All right. Okay, fixing the other bug right now. Where it's like you change a setting from in the settings page, you get that overlay. I just want to make sure that we don't get that error or that overlay, that loading overlay on screen. There's probably going to be some other pages that do the same thing. We need to make sure that that doesn't happen either. There's going to be other pages. I need to go through like I need to go through like every page to see like what happens. I think there was another one. I don't remember what it was. I know one of them was like choosing the mob modes in an arena was an issue. What, that should be fixed now? Yeah. Probably like you save it, it's trying to do a refresh, like it does it like every freaking time. And then you get that loading overlay. I've gotten that message so many times. Never call, send update. Action, toggle permission, cycle DB. That's an update at the end of save case. do it. Do it. Fix it. Build the jar, please. I need to give it instructions to do that. Okay, it's done. We can test that right now. Let's do that now. Files. Refresh. Boom. Done. Restart. Go in, try to change some settings in the settings page and see if it saves without getting that overlay. If it does, then cool. Oh. I wonder if this the skill tree thing, Alden, if you're there, you know how you can level up your character to be more powerful? You can choose like stats or whatever when you attack or whatever. I wonder if that is causing the discrepancy from the damage it thinks it's doing because it can't read it from the mod side. So it thinks you're doing like 10 damage, but you're doing actually like 50 because of your upgrades for your character. And then that's why you die. I wonder if it can't intercept that because it's from a mod. That okay. I need to write that note down because that is more than likely what the problem is. That's a okay. I'm glad I just thought of that now. Didn't even think about that before. I wonder if that's the problem. That would make a lot of sense. Manage. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so cool. Okay, cool. Nice. Okay. Cool. Yeah, this is gonna be fun. Okay. Okay, so that works. The saving works. Was there any other weird bug that we came across? I guess I could ask the AI if the other thing would cause a problem. Let me see. Okay. Question. If we have another plugin that changes the output of a player that plugin for the would that be the dying. Why the cool. Let me send it. Let me see what it says. Because that would be interesting if it's like something that we need to hook into for that specifically. That'd be really fascinating. I wouldn't think that would matter though. Like it should just know the damage. So I think our system just needs to be tightened up. The damage system, the fatal damage system needs to be just tightened. Let's search though. It's yeah. Yeah, interesting question, but yeah, it's like it should still know like what the damage is when it hits. That's the my question. I don't know how it knows that other than like through the mod itself that gives you the leveling up. Would be interesting if this was it. That'd be. I feel freaking smart as hell if it was, but I feel like it's gonna be something probably else. It's gonna be something else. It's like ticks or I don't know. It's trying to math. If blow is fatal, then intercept it, basically. I should like find something else. Be like, oh yeah, we can just use this system. I'd be like, Are you serious? Huh. Excuse me. Is exploring. Oh, heavy. I am freaking tired. Exactly the vulnerability. Here's what's happening. Failed damage interceptor runs in Hytale's filter damage group. With only one dependency, it runs after armor damage reduction, but has no knowledge of any external plugin damage multiplier. So the execution order is armor reduction runs, fatal damage interceptor checks is current health minus damage less than equal to 0, evaluates the pre-boot value, says not fatal, leveling plugin multipliers the damage. EG times 1.5. Apply damage. Applies the now larger number. The player dies for real. Death component is added. Too late from our interceptor. The fatal check fires before the level bonus is applied. So it's working with the wrong number. Cleanest fix isn't adding a dependency on the external plugins class. We don't know what compile time. It's adding a fallback handler in player death tracking system, which extends death systems on death system that hooks the hook fires the component is actually added after all damage is processing. If the dead entity is in a session player, invoke the same lives/respawn logic. This makes the system resilient to any bypass, not just this one plugin. Perfect parries. It both, Alden. That's what I just thought of. I'm like, wait a minute, because Frez said yesterday when we were playing, he said like, oh yeah, good thing I leveled up because he can fight, faster or like stronger. So when going through this, I was like, wait a minute. There are other plugins, not just the leveling one, but if Perfect Parry has any like damage variations, are those causing this for you to die because it's not catching that? Okay, when fatal damage interceptor catches a fatal hit today, does it call a shared service / method for the session death logic, or is it all the lives respawning handling written in line inside fatal damage handler? What? I don't know. Look at what the code does. Huh? Can cause 15% damage on. Okay. Yeah, I said we could probably fix this so that the logic can't the code to see what it does. Just like, can't you look at the code and see? Fair enough. Don't ask me a question like that. I don't know. Yeah, look at the code. Look at the code and see exactly what it does currently. Yeah, because if we can just create another like filter on top of that, then yeah, then other mods won't matter. Yeah, it was so random. I was like, oh yeah, I didn't, because because the damage gets applied differently. So kind of makes sense. But thinking of it that way, but I would also think that like Hytale should be like the source of truth, right? Where the damage should just come from Hytale itself, because the plugin's plugging into Hytale for it to do stuff. So why is it like it like side skirts it, you know, instead of just saying if Hytale sword does 10 damage, I have a plugin that says I'm going to add 20%. Then Hytale sword should do 20% more damage, not I do 10 damage and then the 20% gets stacked on top of it on the side. That's what it sounds like it's happening. That's why it can't, if the logic, what I see, what's happening now is like it gets applied separately and not within the same system. So that's why it fails. Wild. But interesting, like how that works though. If that's the case, see, now I just want to ask it more questions, because it'd be like, because we're in a session, in an instance, does dying, can we completely intercept it now because it's in its own session, or because it's in its own instance? Can we just completely change the logic and then we can get rid of this entire system and we just math it along the way? Okay, we'll see what this says first, and then I might ask it that, because that can change up. This can change up the whole thing and make it just a hell of a lot simpler. Because it's easier just to be like, if player dies, then blah. In an instance. But the same thing happens if we die, then you get teleported back to the overworlds, the default worlds spawn. So we do the same logic though. We'd have to intercept the death component if we could actually do that, rather than creating a whole fatal damage system. Okay. Let's see what it said. Failed damage interceptor runs in damage module get filter damage group with a single dependency. Return set of new system dependency order after damage systems armor damage reduction class. If an external leveling plugin registers its own damage event system in the same group with no ordering constraint relative to fatal damage interceptor with order after on it, the sequence becomes armor damage reduction runs. Fatal damage intercepted evaluates current health minus damage greater than 0, not fatal exits. The external plugin scales damage up, e.g. times 1.5 based on attacker's level. Apply damage. Applies the boosted value. Player actually dies. Death component is added. Player death tracking system on component added. Fires. The interceptor made its decision on the unscaled number. Player dies anyway. Player death tracking system currently does an emergency respawn, health, restore plus teleport plus invulnerability, but nothing else. Kill credits, team pool increments, the win condition checks are all missed. Fix 2 changes. Small and contain. The track the last PvP attacker in Fatal Damage Interceptor. Add a public static map so player death tracking system can find who dealt damage. Populate it inside handle before the if current health minus total damage greater than health min return. Early return. Early return, i.e. on every session damage event, not just fatal ones. Okay. Also clear the entry on the Fatal Damage Interceptor. Does intercept normally to avoid stale data. 2. Add session bookkeeping to player death tracking system. After the exiting emergency respawn block, add the same kill pool win condition logic that the Fatal Damage Interceptor runs for PvP modes. Okay. The mob mode is left as is for now. The user reported issues is player versus player in PvP mode, mob mode. Yeah, it's been mostly the PvP mode, right? That's been the issue. I think mob kills have been fine so far, but obviously we'll test it more, but it's mostly PvP. Kill a player with via amplified damage path. Confirm a player's respawn at valid location point. Already working. Kill count. Okay. Yeah. Do it. Code it. Cool. I was smart. I had a smart moment. I was like, it doesn't make sense. Like, how wasn't it working before? Like, or why did it break now? And now it makes so much more sense. Because now if it tracks every damage point in between, because it seems like we have the headroom for the tick room, so we can do it, right? That we can do that. It's cool. Nice. Yeah, so if we could do some more fail-safe stuff for other, just to include any mod in it, that's freaking awesome. Yeah, because that gun would be really cool to have like a gun mode. Actually, it would be actually really cool. Or like the Halo map. Use the guns for the Halo map, our Halo style maps, right? That would be really that would be awesome. Done was a change Fatal Damage Interceptor Java, added public static final map UID. We have attacker a concurrent map keyed by victim UID value in the last PvP attacker UUID populated before the non-fatal early return. On every damage event for non-mob active sessions where the source is a valid session player, cleared alongside clear accumulated damage. When the interceptor takes over normally, so stale data never bleeds into the next life. Cool. All right. Let us dump this file. Restart. Cool. Variations on leveling systems that we need to test that. reconnecting logic should work now. Just, yeah, flat out, like, just UI stuff. I would love to be able to make my own, like, assets to use in game to do stuff. It would be a lot easier than doing all the command stuff. I mean, we can do the command stuff, but it would be a lot easier. It'd be cooler to do the asset stuff. Okay, that's done. All right, ladies and gents, I'm gonna run. I'm gonna get some dinner. Gonna do a bit more probably UI tweaking and just cleaning stuff up. But thank you so much for watching and being here today. I appreciate it. Sleep good tonight. Freaking snow, man. Freaking like 2 feet. Something I forgot. Totally, it's some stupid amount that we got. It's something. It's ridiculous. Tired of it. All right, guys. I'll see you later. Hopefully, I'll be live. I'm gonna try to go live earlier, way earlier tomorrow, so we can get a full day in and just hopefully rip through a bunch of this, so we can finally like hopefully start recording some stuff for like tutorial based stuff of how this works. But yeah, all right, take care. I'll see you later.